I want you to get together.
I wanted to say too, did you see the newest thing? Apparently in Florida here, there was a sighting of giant shadow creatures in the mall, and they shut down the mall. They shut down the airspace. There was the most police presence we've ever seen. Mike was just talking to me about it the other day, and what I find interesting is that the term Nephilim is now being popularized. Like before, most people wouldn't even know what that was. Like they'd just be like, "Oh, a giant alien, or whatever." But the term Nephilim is now trending, and you were
Hmm.
saying like the clown trend was almost like an infiltration on a subconscious level, or crossing over into our reality in the physical, with these people wanting to dress up like clowns and like cause fear and stuff. But like now to actually bring the term Nephilim to the public, like nothing is pushed on the public unless it's for a reason. So they might really be trying to bring the Nephilim back into consciousness.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, on that current event, I mean, I saw in my own Telegram group people were posting about it, and I saw, it's like a from a top of an apartment building view of all these police cars, just hundreds of them gathered into one spot for supposedly a couple of teenagers having a fight with some fireworks or something. It's like the cover story for that. But yeah, I'm seeing it all coming out that people are claiming they witnessed giants of some kind there, like I said, shadow beings, and whether that's true or not, I do believe there is some kind of externalization of the hierarchy, revelation of the method type thing going on right now, where they are trying to get into the public consciousness, the concepts like the Nephilim. So I'm hardly surprised Nephilim as a word is now trending suddenly on Twitter because I mean, it wasn't even that long ago that even Tucker Carlson was talking about the Nephilim with Roseanne Barr. Um, and I made my own video about that, saying why the hell is Tucker Carlson saying the word Nephilim all of a sudden? You know what I mean? And people were furious that I didn't know who Roseanne was, as well as a British person who doesn't watch American sitcoms. I think I called her some
It's,
lady. I called her some lady or something like that, and people were outraged. But the point is that they are saying these words now to basically normie audiences. They are bringing it to the forefront of the conversation because yes, I think 2016 was a precursor event to symbolize the Nephilim are returning. So they caricatured that message using the symbol of a clown, which represents Nephilim, by saying creepy clown sightings everywhere. Well, that was a kind of a predictive programming symbolic message to say that Nephilim sightings are going to start soon. People are going to start seeing Nephilim again, but they covered it with a creepy clown sightings type message, because that's what the clown does symbolize. It symbolizes the Nephilim. It is an occult created symbol, perfectly crafted to caricature and represent demons, basically. So when you do see clowns anywhere in media, especially like an event like, the 2016 clown sightings, they're sending a message to the initiated, first of all, get ready, they're coming back. That was the message. And to the profane masses, it is kind of this getting them used to citing such things. So if real sightings do start to happen of these entities manifesting physical somehow, I'm not sure how that's possible necessarily. But if that does start to happen in like a thinning of the veil type way, then they've kind of already been pre-programmed to understand that yes, they'll have clown-like visage to them when they do manifest. So absolutely, I agree with you. There's definitely something going on. I mean, so I just saw on Twitter someone posted literally before I started talking to you. I saw that post where it says, I think it was the conspiracy pilled guys had posted the top three things trending on Twitter right now are our most talked about topics, and it's aliens, Nephilim, and Antichrist. I think those were the top three trending right now. Um, it's just weird times we live in. What a great start to a new year as well. I
honest.
think 2014 is going to get trippy.
You mentioned a little bit just a second ago about them being able to manifest into physical beings. Is it possible for the Nephilim at all to manifest in dreams, or maybe are ghosts, or is there a way that they can manifest themselves at all, as opposed to just being, like the clown image? Can they physically manifest, or maybe in
I
dreams?
don't think the point is that they don't have physical bodies anymore, but they do continue to be a spirit trapped without a body, without senses, without a mouth, a nose, eyes, hands, or ears. They can't experience anything. This is the phenomenon of demonic possession. The whole point of demonic possession is that these entities want to feel again. They want to experience things again. So they do that vicariously through your senses. So that's why they possess you, and that's why they get you to generally do things which are destructive to your own body, because they're seeking the pleasure from it by doing it vicariously through your senses. I don't think they can physically manifest. I don't think that's possible. I do think there may be cryptids around, left over from the antediluvian age and just after, who are physical entities who aren't dead yet, who maybe have managed to survive until this present day in immortal type bodies, or perhaps they've done what we do and just generationally procreated for generation after generation and maintained the species. But you have to remember, in the antediluvian age, after the Nephilim were created, there were people who wanted to be like the Nephilim. And that's described in the book of Jasher as a time just before the flood where mankind began to genetically engineer themselves. It's called the mixing of kinds in the book of Jasher, and animals were being spliced with other animals, humans were being spliced with animalistic features too, and a lot of hybrid creatures were created during that time, and I do believe that's where we get phenomena like Mothman or Dogman or Lizard People. These are X-Men. They used to be men. They're mutants. They are humans who have changed themselves to be like their gods and kings of the day, which were the Nephilim. They wanted to be stronger, faster, better, more hardy and durable to withstand the brutal environment they lived in, which was full of giants, cannibalistic, horrible monsters. So I do think people do see physical manifestations of creatures through the cryptid phenomena, but I don't think they're experiencing true Nephilim. The true Nephilim, not these faux Nephilim, are the offspring of fallen angels who mated with human women, and they became disembodied spirits when they were killed just before the flood. It's said that the punishment for the angels who did this was to watch their children kill each other. And that's what happened. They all fought each other in bloody, brutal battles for power. And they also turned on their own parents, the angels, and tried to kill them as well, in like some kind of weird hubristic ploy to be the only gods and kings and rulers over humanity. But obviously the angels are way better than them and more powerful than them, and they had to kill their own children as a result. It was quite a horrible punishment, to be honest. It's described as you'll have to watch your beloved ones kill each other. And so the Nephilim actually became demons then. They became disembodied spirits before the flood, and then just after that event, that's when the humans changed themselves, and then the flood happened. So historically speaking, maybe there are descendants of Nephilim, yes, but the hardcore originals, the half-bloods, half and half, they were wiped out first. Now, it does say that the Nephilim did have their own children by mating with human women, so that would create a quarter hybrid Nephilim, and they were called the Nephil. And then the Nephil had their own children, and they were called the Elio, and then the Elio had their own children, and they were called the Eliud. So there are iterations of Nephilim that get more watered down through each passing generation, and they probably changed their features a little bit, but fundamentally stayed the same. I have postulated that maybe Bigfoot is a manifestation of the Elio or the Eliud, these lower level ones. And it does appear that, Bigfoot sightings, they have some kind of weird magical psychic property about them, where they can confuse people mentally, they can seem to teleport in and out of pocket dimensions through trees, and they do seem to have some kind of divine, weird, psychedelic nature to them, other than just being a hairy beast man, So I do think there's something to be said for Bigfoot to be perhaps the descendant of the Nephilim, which is a physical manifestation still around. But if a Nephilim creature dies and they get disembodied, they're stuck on Earth. Then they become demons. And they cannot manifest physically again. I do believe the closest thing you can get to a manifestation of a Nephilim, a dead Nephilim, a demon, is that they often appear as shadow people or shadow entities. And I think this is because people, if they, let's say, are in sleep paralysis or in some sort of state, a hypnagogic state of some kind, just before they fall asleep, or the brain's in that mode where it's transferring to the dreamscape, or, release it, or DMT is going through the body naturally or something. I do think that veil gets thin enough for our perceptions to then perceive them. But because we aren't supposed to see them, and our perceptions are so limited, I think we see shadow entities. We can't really see their true nature. We just see like a shadowy blur type thing. I do think that happens. I think that's a real phenomenon that's been well documented. But if that same individual who's seeing the shadow entity, I believe, if they were to open that perception even further by suddenly taking 3 crack pipe hits of DMT or something, suddenly that shadow entity would become an extremely psychedelic looking clown monster. Do you get what I mean? But until they do that, all they can vaguely perceive with their eyes is like a shadowy monster of some kind. So as far as manifestations, that's all I'm aware of. I do think as well they are working on some kind of transhumanist AI agenda to create
Yes.
brand new vessels, immortal bodies with a working, functional artificial brain that can house consciousness. So I think that's what AI is working towards. And within an immortal robotic body, which is what transhumanism is working towards. And once they create and master that vessel, it will not be for us. It's promised for us. It's promised that we'll get to live forever and be like gods in these new immortal bodies. But as soon as we create them and switch them on, you best believe this legion of disembodied entities are just going to lap up that opportunity and take them. Like they've been waiting for thousands of years. They will take that chance, you know. So if there ever is a robot overlord takeover of humanity, it's actually the Nephilim returning. That's what it truly is. It's nothing new. It's just a different skin. That's all.
I want you to get together